Hello, Mr. Georgiou. So we have here an important game from Norway Chess tournament. It's a game which actually decided, right? The final positions of the players.
Right.
So it's between Hikaru Nakamura and Caruana.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see it. So we have
Nakamura played with white and he had to win. I mean, it was for him very important because if he drew the game or if he lost the game, Caruana, who was leading the whole tournament until the last round, would win without problems. So he tried to play a game a little bit old, let's say, the variation, to surprise somehow his opponent. It is very interesting that he succeeded to do this, finally.
especially that this is actually a classic game. So
Yeah, it is very, very well known. It was one of the oldest games in chess history. The Italian variation with bishop c4 instead of bishop b5. And now black has to choose between knight f6, the old move, or bishop c5, which is played right now in the last 10, 20 years. Well, after knight f6, now a lot of good players played instead of knight g5 d3. After d3 the game is more or less even. Knight g5 attacking immediately on f7. Now this is the oldest variation, for white and for black. And now after d5, of course.
it's an early attack, but
Well, he's trying to take immediately on f7. If he
Yes.
succeeds to take in f7, he's almost winning for white, of course. No? And now black has to play something to, to avoid all this. And he plays d5. And this is very well known. I mean, it's a lot of games during chess history, And now white takes in d5, knight a5, bishop b5 check. c6.
That's theory, I guess.
Theory, everything is theory, yes. C6, takes in c6, takes in c6, and now move bishop d3. Well, white can play here instead of bishop d3, bishop a4 or bishop f1, which was played before, very well known also, Well, bishop d3 is a move that tries to improve a little bit for white, but to say the truth, white has nothing in this position if black plays well. Yeah. And now Caruana played knight d5, is a very good move. After knight d5, if white comes back to f3, is more or less the game, I mean, another game, let's say, after knight f3. And or he can play knight e4. After knight e4, f5 is already very, very good for black because he has the possibility to push immediately e4. And he takes the initiative. So knight f3, of course. Yeah. Knight f3, bishop d6, castle, knight f4. He tries to take immediately the bishop from d3. Now, if white plays bishop e4, is a very bad move. After f5, he's lost. He's losing a piece.
Because as black has a very good development.
No, he loses a piece after
Yeah,
bishop
yeah, yeah.
e4, f5.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So he has to, he has to give up the bishop from d3, and now with the two pawns, the double pawns on d file, he has no advantage, in my opinion. And the theorist, has the same idea. Okay, knight f4, and now knight e3, takes in d3, no? Takes in d3.
The bishop.
Well, he takes the bishop. Now white has the double pawns. Now he loses his advantage if he has an advantage. Because the double pawns on d2 and d3, represents a very good possibility for black to have an even game, equal game. Okay, now castle and b3. He tries to move his bishop from c1 on b2, or later on, like in our game, on a3 after the move c5. Okay, rook e8. Maybe black could play immediately bishop a6 or bishop f5 instead of rook e8. was another very good possibility for black, attacking immediately the pawn from d3.
So not giving too much time.
Yeah, immediately to try to to take immediately the advantage, because I say it very quickly. Bishop a6, for instance, and after queen c2, if he doesn't want to give up the pawn from d3, he can play c5 with the idea knight c6 with knight b4 or knight d4. Very good game for black in two cases. Bishop e1, rook e1, pardon, rook e1, c5. He tries to improve his game. I mean, coming back with the knight on c6, attacking the two cases b4 and d4. Very good position for black if he can have it. Okay, now white plays immediately bishop a3. A good move.
So instead of black to have the bishop on a6, the white is on a3.
Yeah.
He's
trying to
idea,
attack
right?
immediately the weak pawn from c5. It's very normal idea. And I am sure that this was played before in some other games. Knight c6, knight e4. Yeah.
So already the attack.
Well,
the double attack.
White is trying to attack immediately. Yeah. And he goes back to f8, and now rook c1.
So here actually he loses another
He can
pawn.
He can take on c5. Yeah.
But also the d3 is hanging, right? So it's not losing another pawn.
I mean, he has to do something very quickly. Black. He tries to attack immediately on d3. I mean, okay, and white is trying to attack 3 times on c5. And have his rook on a very active position on c1 on the c file. So okay, and now this was the position. I mean, the most important position was here in this game. And now the theory gives the best possibility for black, knight b4. It's very interesting that they played already some important grandmasters in recent games. After knight b4, after a few moves, all these games were draw. I mean, it's very, very difficult to imagine that Caruana didn't know the games before his game against Nakamura. And I am sure that probably he had somehow a blackout in this position, and he played very quickly also this move, which is losing actually. I mean, it's a very bad move for black. F5.
So blackout,
blackout. I mean, he forgot something. Probably he has an idea that after f5, knight takes c5. Probably that was the position. He played f5 in this position. Okay, after f5.
So basically, he did this move, which was very bad.
Very quickly. This is
very quickly.
very quickly, in 1 minute or something like this. And after knight
maybe he
takes
made a confusion between other games, other positions.
I don't know. Maybe he had. I show you here. Knight takes c5. Yeah, knight takes c5, and he played now queen d5. Probably here instead of queen d5, he was thinking that the simple move queen a5 is almost winning for black. Yeah, knight a5, queen a5. Why? Because he's attacking the bishop from b2, and if you go back to b2, you lose the knight from c5. How can you defend the bishop from a3? You can't defend the bishop, but white has a very simple move. After queen a5, knight a4. He gives the bishop from a3, but he takes the knight from c6, and he has 2 pawns. 2 pawns up, he's almost winning. Probably Caruana forgot about this possibility. And after knight c5, queen d5, the position, if both players play normally and the correct moves, white is winning. 2 pawns up, is a little bit too much at this level.
Because of this move,
after the move f5, in my opinion, black is almost lost. It's a pity for very unpleasant. Yes. Yeah. I mean, after you are leading the whole tournament, in the last moment, you lose the games and you lose the first place. Yes,
in one move you lose all your work.
Yes, right.
The first place and
therefore it's a pity, because to say the truth, Caruana didn't deserve such a finish, let's say, no. But what can you? I mean, he made the move f5 very quickly, and therefore afterwards he lost finally the game. Yeah. From this position is only interesting. How could White win finally a winning position? Because now the position is winning for Black. For White, pardon.
So more technicality.
Yes, yes.
So
I
now,
mean,
yes.
any end game with a pawn up is one for White. And now in this position he has 2 pawns. Yeah.
So do you think Hikaru was sure that he will win from here, or
Yeah, at this level, he has only to play very well. I mean, very well, without mistakes. If he plays well and without mistakes, he is winning.